It's always you bad bill, angry, jealous bitch. And it's always you funky, ugly country butch queens that don't got no style.
Ciao! Cardi B's BBL doctor might have snitched about just how messed up her BBL condition actually is and how much she stinks. And now she's crashing out. The timeline has been wild ever since Cardi B caught wind of a TikToker talking slick about her body, saying her BBL looking super big while her legs super tiny, even questioning if it's the same BBL or if her body just changed after having 3 kids.
Did Cardi B get another BBL or is this the same BBL? If this is the same one, I don't know. It just looks really weird. I don't know if it's because after she had all her kids, like, her body started to change and, like, expand or whatever. But this BBL on her, it looks really different. Like, her legs look super tiny and her butt is, like, super big. BBLs are getting out of control. Like, she looked really good before. Like, I don't know what happened, though. Like, I don't know if it's just from her last baby that kind of like expanded her a little bit, or if she just went and got another round. Like, I don't know. And I feel like she's been out of the limelight just a little bit. Like, I feel like I haven't really been seeing her much. So like, does that have something to do with her surgeries, or she just out the mix? I don't know, but let me know, because I just seen her performing when she had on that blue little bodysuit and I'm like, this looks really weird. Like, her legs are tiny, her butt is humongous, and it just looks unproportioned. And I don't remember her looking like that. So either, like I said, she got another round, or them kids, when she had her kids, it kind of expanded her a little bit. One of the two.
The TikTok video quickly went viral, and the reactions were all over the place. One TikTok user was quick to pop off, saying, "Y'all never mind your business," shaking my head. And sis was over the body shaming, clocking how folks stay in Cardi's business. But then another sis slid in messy, spilling, "I just wish she kept her body like her sisters." Another fan kept it a buck, saying, "I think she lost weight, so it's dragging." And with 6,452 hearts, a lot of folks were feeling her take, pointing fingers at Cardi's weight loss for the BBL drama. But Cardi B wasn't about to let that TikToker slide. She jumped on her Instagram story and let him have it with no chill. Cardi flipped the script, breaking it down for the haters. She spilled that she got butt shots back in January of 2024, gained 25 pounds during her pregnancy, which mostly went to her butt and hip. Plus, she reminded everybody she only gave birth 7 months ago. Fun fact, I actually took butt shots out January 2024. Fun fact, I gained 25 pounds while I was pregnant, which most of that went to my butt and hips. Fun fact, I gave birth 7 months ago. Why is never man talking about women's bodies as always you weird ass females? And no, I haven't gotten surgery. Y'all always talk about girls getting on the table, then turn around and make you want to lay on one. But God forbid I talk about how y'all look. Sis was heated, calling out how it's always weird women body shaming, never men, and clap back at the hypocrisy of folks who drag girls for surgery but then want to get on the table themselves. She even flipped it, saying they can't handle it when she talks about how they look. While the internet was still buzzing from Cardi B's Instagram clapback, a fresh rumor popped off that's got the streets in a chokehold. Word is, at the Revolve Festival, folks were clocking Cardi B's BBL, saying it's looking mad weird and out of shape. According to people at the front row, her BBL looked bumpy. And get this, an audience at the Revolve Festival allegedly took the shade to a whole new level, whispering that her BBL was stanking the place up when she hit the stage. One sis tried to keep it cute but shady, giggling that it was just humid back there, with a skull and a gang of laughing emojis, like she was trying to say Cardi's twerk session got a little too steamy without fully spilling the tea. Meanwhile, another person doubled down, straight up saying they bet the rumor ain't no lie. Now, let's get into why this smelly BBL rumor got everybody's nose twisted. Turns out there's some science behind the shade. Plastic surgeon Dr. Yon spilled all the tea in a viral YouTube video, breaking down why BBLs can sometimes have a little funk.
It's because I heard BBLs be smelling. So I was wondering, is it the surgery that make the BBL smell? If you want a BBL, do you gotta sacrifice smelling like a bad bitch and smelling like 2 pounds of ass, really 10 pounds of ass for the rest of your life? You went from smelling like palm trees and cherry blossoms to 10 pounds of bounce that motherfucking monkey. Does getting a BBL insinuate that you're gonna stink for the rest of your life?
People are still talking about the BBL smell. Is it real? Well, I thought in my previous BBL smell video that I cleared it up, but apparently I didn't because there's still quite a bit of confusion out there. So let's finally get to the bottom of the BBL smell. Well, there are a lot of theories being circulated on social media about why the BBL just might smell. So let's start with two of the most popular hypotheses of the BBL smell.
Apparently, there's two reasons why the BBL smells. Due to you having to get those lymphatic massages and get the drainage, that causes a certain smell that lingers for about 4 to 6 weeks post-op. Even after that, girls with their newfound bottom can't either reach or don't know how to properly go around their new bum to get far enough in between the cheeks so they can wash properly.
So this lovely woman believes that the BBL smell is due to either 4 to 6 weeks of drainage from the incisions or from basically just bad hygiene, not being able to clean back there properly. Well, the fact is that drainage does occur after liposuction surgery. The incisions can drain fluid for usually a day or two, and this is often the anesthetic fluid that we inject to perform the liposuction.
I didn't want to do it this way.
But this fluid really doesn't have much of a smell at all unless it gets infected. And it's extremely rare to see these incisions drain for honestly more than a day or two. Now, in regards to her second theory of why BBL smell may be real, let's return to that a little bit later. And here's another potential cause of the BBL smell, as very eloquently described by this influencer.
What the f? It smell like bounce the fuck that ass. It smell like bounce the fuck out of that ass. Oh, somebody been bouncing the fuck out some ass.
Now, if somebody does not wash their faja afterwards, it can definitely smell like a dumpster behind a Chinese restaurant. But I don't know that not washing the faja can explain why the BBL smell appears to happen to so many people. Often you wear the faja for a month, maybe 2 months after the surgery, but if you're getting a BBL smell for months or years later, then that's not necessarily due to the faja.
Oh my God, what is that smell?
Well, there are some doctors, specifically plastic surgeons, not including me, who have weighed in on why the BBL smell might be real. Let's take a peek at one doctor's explanation.
So what are the reasons of why a BBL would smell? Well, really goes back to anybody that has surgery. So in general, when you get anesthesia done, anesthesia uses some different types of gases with some fluorine in them, and that kind of smells a little bit funky. So as you breathe that off, it is a little bit of a weird smell. I would say it doesn't smell normal. The second thing is, as you are healing, especially in that acute period, your body is changing a little bit in its metabolic profile. So you will notice metabolic changes in smells. My best example of this is actually for people that diet. When they really push carbs way low, they'll actually get into something called ketosis, and they'll actually make ketones out of their fat, and they'll actually breathe that ketones off, and that actually makes a fruity smell. Some people like it, some people don't. The third reason that a lot of people are going to smell from liposuction is that liposuction drains a lot of fluid. It's very, very normal. Now, in some of that fluid is going to be blood, which specifically is going to be iron. And iron is so important to your body because it helps to capture and hold oxygen in hemoglobin, that you smell iron all the time. If you can smell it, you're like, that smells kind of like iron.
Well, these are all true, and I do credit the good doctor for his in-depth analysis. Now, his first explanation about anesthesia and having those gases on your breath, that is true, but it only really lasts, my experience, for several hours. Usually at least by the next day, that smell is gone. Now, as far as the drainage of blood causing a smell of iron and the metabolic changes, well, these really settle down within a matter of a couple of days, like I mentioned earlier about the drainage. And so that won't necessarily explain why you've got baddies in the clubs many months later who appear to have the BBL smell. So is it possible that the BBL smell is all just cap, that it's not real? Well, this next gentleman really presents himself as somebody who knows what he's talking about.
So my guy Don P says BBLs stink. I've had multiple women with BBLs. They don't stink, my dude. Now, the women who have the BBL might stink. It sounds like you had a case of some bad cooter.
Okay, so here's my take. There's nothing about getting a BBL surgery that's gonna make you smell due to the operation itself. You don't get drainage for weeks afterwards unless you have a complication like some type of an infection, and that can definitely smell, but it's also very rare. I believe that the BBL smell is basically due to poor hygiene. It can be very difficult to wash in that area if it is different than it used to be, and especially if you get a large BBL performed. But the BBL smell is not a medical condition. It's not something that is irreversible if you get the operation, and could be something that could be solved with a bidet or some other type of nice hygienic cleansing system. So why did this whole BBL smell phenomenon start? Well, take a peek at this video right up here where I go into all the details of the BBL smell. Where did it start? Who are these baddies in the club that you may be hearing about? All of it is in this video and explained very, very well. And as always, remember to eat real food, use clean skincare, and auto-rejuvenate before you operate.
Say hello to my stinky little friend.
He said after surgery, the body's healing process, like fluid from incisions and trapped fat cells, can mix with bacteria if you ain't keeping it extra clean, especially in spots where wiping gets tricky with all that new K. Add in sweat from twerking up a storm at the Revolve Festival and boom, you got a recipe for foul, nasty smell. Whispers have also been swirling that her surgeon spilled some tea about her BBL journey, maybe even hinting at complications like that smell that Dr. Yun talked about. Cardi ain't addressed her doc directly, but she's been loud about her surgery struggles, like removing 95% of her illegal butt shots back in 2022 because of the pain and risk. Fans are split. Some say the doctor leak is cap and haters are just messy, while others think there's truth to the tea, especially with Dr. Yun's video backing up how BBLs can get a little musty if you ain't careful. Either way, Cardi's name is staying in the headlines, and we all want to know if she's gonna clap back at her doc or let all these talk fade like festival dust. What y'all think? Haters reaching, or is there truth to the tea? Drop your hot takes below and let's keep spilling. Share this messy saga with your crew and stay tuned to see if Cardi's dropping bars or more clapbacks next.